All right, lock in because today I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Wings losing a close game to the Minnesota Lynx. I said close rather than very winnable, like I said for the Storm game, because despite actually losing by less points, I felt like the Wings had a chance to win the Storm game, but in this Lynx game, they hung around for sure, like kept it within like a 10-point game or less for most of the night, but I never actually thought that they were going to win this game because the Lynx had answers for everything. Like they're the finals runner-up, they have Nafisa, while the Wings, although they looked better in this game, they're still like trying to find their identity. The Wings actually jumped out to an early 10-point lead in this game behind some nice play from Dejanay. Like she was playing some nice defense on the perimeter, causing the Lynx to be uncomfortable, and Arike was playing off ball and made some threes, which is the dream, hopefully. Like I don't expect her to buy in completely to an off-ball role exclusively. Like that's too much. Like there's way more to her game than just making her a catch and shoot player, but I believe that Paige is better with the ball in her hands, and like despite not having the best shooting night from Paige in this game, like that's been clear to me in these 3 games. So yeah, like I said, I saw some good stuff to start, but like they didn't hammer it home. Right when they got the lead, they went back to playing like this freelance style of basketball where everyone like honestly just kind of got in the way. The one possession that stood out was when Dejanay was calling for the ball in the post, thought she had good position. Paige didn't pass it to her, she passed it to Maisha. Then Maisha tried to pass it to Dejanay in a spot where like I just thought it was an ambitious pass. Like she didn't really have the best position like that. And if someone was going to pass it to her, then it should have been Paige or Arike. But like I just wasn't loving Dejanay's post position in the first place. So it was a turnover and it led to a 3. And speaking of that, the Wings defense also fell apart in transition, which is why it was easy for the Lynx to come all the way back after being down 10 when like a good team would have stepped on their necks. Now, like a good team wouldn't keep the Lynx down forever. They're elite, but like they would have been able to manage the lead better. Also, I don't want this to get lost when handing out blame, but another reason for why the lead was lost was because Paige was missing shots. She took like 3 in this quarter. The first one that she took was like this fading mid-range shot that I didn't like that much, but the other 2 were good makeable shots that she created for herself and just missed. I'll talk about Paige Bueckers and her offense more in depth later, but while she created good looks, realistically like her missing shots were sort of like backbreakers, because no matter how good the shots look, at the end of the day you have to put points up on the board, and she wasn't good at that on this night. I would say that in the second quarter the defense was a huge problem across the board. Like just in the first quarter, Ty kept on getting burned on defense, even giving up a 3-point foul. I like what she provides like as a ball handler at the 1, so you can move Paige over to the shooting guard slot and let her work, but Ty's defense is going to make it tough for her to stay on the court, especially against this smart, amazingly coached Lynx team that seems to like always get up a good reasonable shot on every possession. It wasn't just Ty, the defense in general was bad. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of falling asleep off ball, and like it seemed like every time Paige missed, the Lynx were capitalizing and scoring, which was like very problematic. In this quarter, the lineup that like I went on and on about in the previous video got some playing time. Ty, Paige, Kyla, Maddie, and not Tierra, Maisha, but like it's close enough. And yeah, like I said that I wanted to see more reps with this lineup because it seemed like a solid lineup in the previous game. So I just wanted to see like, is it real? It didn't necessarily work here. Like they weren't amazing, but I wouldn't say that's because the lineup is bad. It's just that like from what I could tell, Kyla wasn't performing well, like even missing a layup that Paige created for her. She was a liability, and unfortunately this lineup could not overcome that. Maybe against the lesser team, but definitely not up against the Lynx. Like they're going to make you pay for having liabilities out there. In the third quarter, the same problem existed with the defense, like not being able to get back. But one thing that I love is how they just completely embraced Paige in this quarter. It seemed like up to a point, like maybe the 3-minute mark, it just seemed like every time down the court, it was a Paige Bueckers pick and roll that generated a good shot. When they went away from that, the game didn't necessarily like fall apart, but the offense didn't look as fluid as it looked when Paige was running the offense. Then in the fourth quarter, I can say like I loved how the Wings decided to finally play some defense, but I didn't like how they went away from the Paige Bueckers pick and roll game in favor of randomness. Despite seeing this lead to promising results throughout the game, it wasn't a big part of the fourth quarter offense, which makes no sense. And to make it even more egregious, when they finally ran it, since Paige was getting near triple team, it led to an open shot for Arike, and she made a clutch three to cut the game within 2 points. I feel like there's a lot of evidence in this game that shows that Paige should flat out take over the offense and be the #1 option down the stretch. Yes, she missed her final 2 shots. Like, I didn't like the mid-range shot that she took, but like that was probably her second bad play of the night. Speaking of that and Paige having shooting troubles in this game, Paige might have shot 3 for 11 in this game. Bad shooting night for sure, but she still had an amazing overall game. She created a lot of offense in this game because of her off-ball movement and the threat of her getting to her spot. So I'm going to pick a couple of plays that might not have shown up in the box score. There was one where she used her off-ball movement to lose Bridget, and she created a good look for herself. She just missed the shot. There's a shot in this game that I wanted to use for a comparison. Paige took and missed a 3 with 20 seconds left on the shot clock, which can be seen as kind of like the same thing that Arike did in the previous game, but it's different here because Paige actually used the screen and got an open look, while every time Arike's shot went up with like 18 seconds left, it was always contested. Paige has a very smart shot selection. Another play that I liked was when Paige beat Carly with her off-ball movement, which forced Nafisa to step up, and that created a wide open 3 for Maddie. Moving on to the next play, Paige beat Carly with her off-ball movement again, forcing a foul. When Paige and Ty develop more chemistry, she's going to make that bounce pass. Then on the possession following this, Paige used her off-ball movement again to beat Bridget, forcing Elena to rotate, which just creates all sorts of confusion because now Natisha has to decide if she's going to guard Maddie cutting to the rim or leave Ty open for 3. She committed to Maddie, so Paige passed it to Ty for a 3, and she was able to capitalize. There was a possession in there where Paige noticed Kyla on the backdoor cut and hit her with a perfect pass. Kyla missed, but I like this play from both of them. Kyla's off-ball movement and Paige's court vision and passing. There was this one possession where Bridget just couldn't stick with Paige, found herself behind Paige with her hand on Paige's back. Would have been a nice opportunity to draw an easy foul. But yeah, Bridget got beat. This forced Natisha to rotate, leaving Nafisa guarding 2 players, swinging until it reaches the open player. There's another possession I like where Paige took an off-ball screen from Maisha, allowing her to get in front of Bridget, forcing Elena to leave Nalissa open. Paige passed it to her and she made the layup. There was one possession in the fourth quarter where Paige beat Natisha off ball, forcing Bridget to rotate over and leave Kyla open for 3. Just couldn't make it, unfortunately. Then on the final possession that I liked, Minnesota just had no answer for the pick and roll game. Paige was getting in front of her defender all night long, so because of that, Natisha had to help and leave Arike open for a clutch 3. Paige didn't score a lot of points, mainly because she missed some open shots, but also she saw quite a few triple teams where the Lynx would rather give up open 3s than allow Paige to get to her spot. And this is all as a rookie, being guarded like a veteran. The stat sheet doesn't tell the full story. Paige played so amazingly against the Lynx defense and demanded so much attention from them. But yeah, that was the game. Wings play again on Saturday, but since I'm covering the Sky as well, I'll be back before then. But yeah, stay strong, stay brutal, because above all else, it's anything to win.
I won't let you down, Bruce. I'll keep fighting. Always.